Okay, please let me know if I am live. Goodness gracious, you have to see this. Child. So I'll just move here. Please let me know if I'm live. Please let me know if I'm live. I won't be starting any tour until I get a message from you. Okay, Asher, thank you so much. Hi, Dorley. Shabbat Shalom. Actually, Shavua Tov. I would say almost Shavua Tov. I mean, you just have to see this, right? The sun is not yet too low, which gives us some time to talk about everything else. But I promised to start the tour at the top is top, and that's exactly where we are. And now it's going to be, I would say, a marathon for me, a race to show you everything before we find ourselves down below in the old port. And let me start from here. So we are on the very top of the Tel Jaffa. Tel Jaffa, as I remind you, this is the just the hill, the mound comprised of multiple layers of civilizations. And Jaffa, as I said, is more than 3,000 years old. Actually, at least 3.5. And this is the modern monument made from Jerusalem stone, which is quite important, limestone, Jerusalem stone. And this is called the Gate of Faith. So here we see 3 stories from the Old Testament. It's the over there. Then it's the... Yes, it is. Indeed. Indeed, it's the... Then this is the Battle of Jericho, the victory on the Jericho. And I'm not sure whether you can see that, but that's the Jacob's dream over here. So bonding of Isaac, Isaac, Abraham was just about to sacrifice his own son because he was sacrifice everything for the faith, right? Then the dream of Jacob when he saw angels going up and down with a ladder, so showing the divine providence. And then the victory in Jericho, the battle in Jericho, right? The conquest of the land, the victory over the pagans. And here we are now going through these gates to see the future, basically, and the present. The big Tel Aviv over there, right? So that's the view, one of the views I have been meaning to show you, and you see it now with, I guess, in some of the most beautiful colors. But we are heading towards the sunset, and we need to go down all the way to the port. Just look at these colors. I had to take you here for this tour because this is where it looks even more majestic than it actually is. But I mean, the sunset is always majestic. It's true, it goes without saying. I mean, just all these colors are absolutely mind-blowing, right, Cindy? And on our way to the port, on our way to the sea, we're going to take this wishing bridge. We're going quite quickly, but so this is the modern thing. That's the municipality and the Ministry of Tourism wanted to kind of add some more narrative and meaning to Jaffa, which I think is totally unimportant. But the wishing bridge, the 12 zodiac signs, and we can see those zodiac signs all around Jaffa. And the idea is you just find your zodiac sign, you hold it, you're looking at the sea, you're making a wish, and it comes true. That's basically the idea. But we see this St. Peter's Church. I shared the story of the church with you on the previous tour, so we are not going to stop here this much. The zodiac signs is the big concept here. So the streets here are named after zodiac signs. Zodiac signs, by the way, are actually very much connected to the Jewish calendar, which is partially solar, partially lunar. And that's also another connection of the Jewish people and Judaism with this world and the civilization. But even this narrative is not that relevant. What is relevant is that we are now going down from the very top, from the Gate of Faith monument, a very modern monument. Hi everyone, good to see you. To the seaport where everything started, because of, well, it's all because of this port. So the very first people that came here, we're not even sure when exactly the first people came here, but obviously the Levant is this area is a connection between Africa and Europe, and so the first humans they would be making their way to European continents through the Middle East, through the Levant. And that's why the civilizations here, well, they have always been here, always. And speaking of our narrative, so the Canaan, the land promised to the Jews, is exactly this land. So the pagan tribes, the Canaanite peoples, had been living here for a long time. And then the Jews came. But then also many other peoples, many other civilizations. Here we can find, I'm showing you my face because there are children here and I don't want to film them. But now we can. I want to show you something quite special before we go to the port and enjoy the sea. So the Philistines, and even before that, the Egyptians, so they're not far from here, there is an Egyptian monument. It's called the Gates of Ramses. So in fact, the Canaanites, some 3,500 years ago, we're talking about around year 1300, 1200 BCE. The Canaanites, they governed the port. They were very rich. They produced a lot of things here, and they got too rich. And the Egyptians they didn't just want to let it happen, that the Canaanites could have just as much influence as the Egyptians. We're talking here about the Way of the Sea, the ancient trade route, Via Maris, or Way of the Sea. And they invaded and conquered this land from the Canaanites. And there was even a small fortress, Egyptian fortress, at the times of Ramses II. And ever since then, the Philistines, the Israelites returned, the Phoenicians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, and then the Byzantine period. I mean, see the colors over there? So we are approaching, we are on our way. Here the connectivity might get a little bit patchy. We will see how it goes. But we are on our way to the port. But I could not but take you here because you can see the lighthouse. It finally has been restored. It's been restored. Not long ago they finished the restoration and I see it now. And I'm so happy to see this beautiful lighthouse. And that place over there is believed to be the house of Simon the Tanner, where Tabitha was raised from the dead by Saint Peter. Whenever I am here, my voice gets a little bit quieter because people live here. We will be talking more about what's the present day like and what's the life like here. But the most important thing is that this is not the dead city. Old Jaffa is not the dead city. Old Jaffa is very much alive and people live here. Locals live here, Jews, Christian Arabs, Muslim Arabs, Europeans. A lot of cafes and shops. Well, this one is just closed for Shabbat, but it should reopen soon. My chat is going wild. I guess we had a little bit of a connectivity issue, but looks like I'm back, or at least the chat is back. Look, it says to the port. So we are going to the port through this winding streets. And since people live here, it's very important to just not to make too much noise. And when you come here with tourist groups, it's also quite challenging. Here we are, just right on time for the sunset. Woohoo! You see, I was in a hurry because I wanted to make sure we see the sun. Woohoo! I don't know what you're talking about, Robert. Sorry, I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something, but again, as I said, I couldn't see everything on the chat. Pavel, I'm in Israel. I think you can see that by the flag and the magenta V, the Star of David, and the yellow ribbon, the remembrance and the resilience symbol. This is the old port, right? This is the port. This is the port where more than 3,000 years ago, the wood for the first temple was delivered from Tyre, modern-day Lebanon. This is the port where travelers and merchants would be coming, delivering their goods. That's the port to where also the pilgrims would be coming, Christian pilgrims, Muslim pilgrims, Jewish pilgrims, and Jewish settlers would be coming, and then they would be purchasing land and building their communities. American colonies, German colonies, Swedish colonies, all that. So this is all started here. But the thing is, as you may have figured it out, there are a lot of rocks here. It's quite a rocky port, and that's an issue. That's a big issue because you see, everyone has gathered here to see the sunset, and I can't blame them. I want to just go to the area where you can see it's best. It's gonna take us a minute. In the meantime, we can see the part of the old city wall that has remained, by the way. So give me a minute. There is a big construction going on over here, and they are, I guess it's going to look, well, that's what it looked like. This bulks over here, concrete bulks, they're here from Mandate period, so we're talking 1920s, 1930s, and it was quite ugly. So I guess they're just trying to prepare this for some better tourist attraction than just for people. So there's something going on. So these used to be the old walls. So this was part of the old walls of that Jaffa had, because it was the old city. It was a fortress, just like every old town, I would say. And we are now going to that area to see a little bit more of the sun. There you go. There's even a tiny lighthouse over there. There you go. As you can see, it has quite a lot of rocks, and that was an issue. The thing is, whenever travelers came, be it 19th century, be it 15th century, whatever period it is, they had to, well, with the bigger vessels, they couldn't really come close and dock by the shore. They would dock somewhere 200 meters. We do it in meters here, you know, before the shore. And then the smaller boats would be coming and picking up the cargo or people and taking them to the shore. That's unfortunately how it worked. Or fortunately, I don't know. It actually depends. But imagine if you are a pilgrim and you are great view indeed, and you are and you have with you all your possessions, or especially if you are not a pilgrim but you are a settler, let's say you are an American in 1866, bringing with you even your houses. Just imagine what it was if it all was thrown down on the ship, on a boat. Well, it wasn't easy, and it was quite expensive as well. Speaking of the American settlers, American colony, I did a tour last weekend, and make sure you check it out. In the meantime, I want to show you some old photos. As you know, I've prepared about 70 visual aids, illustrations for you in photos, so I want to show you what it was like. Give me a minute. So imagine, okay, so there you go. The big ships are docked over there, right, far from the shore. And you see millions, hundreds of boats filled up with all sorts of stuff coming to the shore and delivering it. And mostly that would be local Arabs that did all the transportation job. Sarah, I don't understand the question. What do you mean, like, how could you take a house? The settlers would be purchasing it. The settlers, through middlemen, the subjects of the Ottoman Empire, would be purchasing the land, and it would be legal purchase approved by the Ottoman administration, and this is how it would be done. Be it Christian, be it American, be it European, Jewish settlers, it didn't matter. What mattered is that it had to be all purchased through a middleman, and the middleman had to be subjects of the Ottoman Empire. That was it. That was the idea. And also, if you take a closer look over there, you will see some rocks. You will see the rocks. So these rocks, well, there is a kind of a legend. It's more of a mythology, but yeah, if that was the question, Sarah, I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but if you're talking about how the settlers came here, well, you now know the story. So these balconies and these walls are from the Ottoman times too. The balconies would be added here in the around 19th century. This type of balconies you could also find in the Ottoman Empire, quite a lot. And there, as I said, Jaffa has always been an international town, cosmopolitan area. You can see an Armenian flag over there, right? And the Armenian flag is there because this is the Armenian monastery. Over there, let me zoom in for you. So we know of the... Hello!
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm live streaming.
Oh,
Hi everyone. That's my colleague, by the way, Gal. We met a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and now we meet again. I've met a lot of local guys that I've been introduced to. There's a lot of networking that I've been doing, but so the Armenian presence in the Holy Land is known from almost 2,000 years ago. The Armenians actually, they even have their own quarter, right, in the old city of Jerusalem, because they came to Jerusalem in the very first years of Christianity, which is quite, I would say, quite impressive. So this is the Armenian property here, the Armenian church and monastery. And I was talking about these rocks, but I wanted to make sure I come closer, and I'll also zoom in and we will be able to see it more clearly. So I will try to zoom it in. Yeah, there you go. So you see some rocks. So these are believed to, well, there's a legend, right, of Andromeda that was just locked, cuffed to the rocks. And it is believed that these are exactly the rocks that Andromeda was hanging on. We know this from the Strabo, the ancient historian and philosopher. It's a, I would say, maybe it's a stretch, who knows, but they are known as Andromeda rocks even now. But indeed, here, even if you're just sailing on a boat, you have to be very careful, and you have to have the permission to do that, obviously, some sort of, a captain license, or at least something, because it's very difficult to navigate here. And there is a story. So when Theodore Herzl, the visionary, right, of the future state of Israel, he came here and he slipped on the steps, and he hurt himself really badly, and he would have to be limping for several days afterwards. So it wasn't easy. As you can see, they're starting to turn on the street lights because it is getting darker. Well, it's not too dark yet. That's the famous mosque by the sea, the seaside mosque, or whatever the name it is. And so there is a beautiful legend that the wives of the fishermen, because I would say one of the biggest trades here definitely will be fishing, but not only that, obviously all the activity connected with the port. So when the fishermen would go into the sea, their wives would be seeing them off from here, let's put it like that. Another important industry, well, you might have heard of Jaffa oranges, have you? The views of Tel Aviv. So the Jaffa oranges, the famous oranges. Well, let's enjoy the waves a little bit. So the famous oranges, oh, you may be, especially for those from the States, you may remember the Jaffa cakes, right, made with oranges and chocolate. So the Jaffa oranges, this is the special kind of orange, the sort of orange, the shamuti, which was cultivated here in Jaffa in the 19th century. And it is here that, well, you can see, you have heard of Jaffa oranges. Yeah, sure, you must have. Like, you could not but have heard of them, because it was a big deal, especially after the Second World War, when a lot of people had suffered from scurvy, basically vitamin deficiency, especially children. So Jaffa oranges were supplied all the way from the Holy Land to Europe, because the oranges were rich in vitamins, vitamin C. That was absolutely vital. Have a look. You see all this growth here. There used to be a lot more of this oranges growth. The entire territory around Old Jaffa walls was full of orange groves. I showed you last time a lot of buildings, a lot of postcards with the orange grove. So that's another industry, very important one. And now here you can see just the bushes, the shrubs. It looks quite green, it looks quite nice, but in fact, as I said, Jaffa, just a big phyllo pastry, right? So now from here you can see it's an elevation, right? And we were at the very top, and now we are at the very bottom of it. And we can see Jaffa a little bit from a side. So in fact, here where we are, well, you see the beach, right? You can see the beach. So it was just the dunes. Outside of the Jaffa walls, those are just the dunes. And that's what Jaffa looked like up until mid-19th century. It was the city. Up until like first quarter of the 19th century, around that, it had completely was surrounded with the walls. Then they started to take down the walls because Jaffa got too big, and the area would started to be developed, so there was no need really for a wall. They only interfered. But in fact, what looks green now, it wasn't no charge. Well, I would have charged, because shamuti is it's a very special kind of orange. It had a much thicker skin, which enabled the oranges, well, enabled the traders deliver them like at a really like big distances, and they would survive and they would not deteriorate during the transportation. So over here we need some more excavations because this used to be the Jewish quarter. Have a look. Like this and like this. You see again the yellow marks. So these would be the city, these would be the walls. There the walls would be going. So within the city walls here used to be the Jewish quarter. As I said, it was a cosmopolitan area. Jews, Christians, Muslims living in one and the same neighborhood, in the same neighborhoods. Yeah, they had their quarters because it was convenient and was logical, but in general, here excavations are about to begin. So when I attended a special event for tour guides, we were told that the excavations in this area should begin shortly. So we just can't wait for it to happen. So, and then for sure they will discover a synagogue, they will discover houses, they will discover maybe even mikvahs, who knows, it just depends. But as I said, this is an international, very cosmopolitan neighborhood with a lot of faith, with people from all over living in one and the same space, I would say. As you can see, and you can maybe even hear the wind, so I will start moving from the port, maybe, but before we do that, let me show you something. Over there, if I zoom it in, you see, that's what I'm showing you. This kind of a construction, right, slightly tilted. This is an observation deck, just the same one as I'm on at the moment. As you can see, this is another observation deck. Here used to be one of the watchtowers of the old city. And that's the Jaffa over there, the Jaffa Mound. I can't get enough of Jaffa, so I will be going back there, but we need to circle it. Now we need to go around because there is some construction going on. There's always something going on here. There's a lot of construction going on. I just hope they're not going to build another light rail station just by the sea. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, they're not, but they're doing something. And I'm happy that you can see the beautifully lit minaret of the Mahmoudiya Mosque. It's fantastic. Sorry for the construction. Not much I can do here. I can just maybe cover it up. It doesn't make much sense. It's not really helping. Here there are some, maybe the preservations going on. There's some Ottoman period buildings. The interesting thing is that, thank you. The interesting thing is that for the construction of the Mahmoudiya Mosque, the Ottomans used a lot of secondary stones, a lot of stones of secondary use. Well, because there were a bunch of stones everywhere here, laying around, and obviously when the Ottomans came it wasn't really peaceful and there was a lot of destruction going on. And what we know is that for the construction of the mosque they used the stones from the Roman time constructions, even in Ashkelon, the city where I used to live. We're passing by the Sibyl, the drinking fountain. I mean the fountain where you can find the potable water. And this street, give me a second, just a minute. Oh, okay. So this street has a special name. It's very special in general, but especially special to me. Let me show you the street. It's a very short street. It may be one of the shortest streets in Tel Aviv. Ruslan Street. There has to be a reason, right, for the street to be called the Ruslan Street. In fact, remember I showed you that slightly tilted, slightly jutting into the water observation deck? So that's That's the one. We're not going there too close. It's also super windy, but I can zoom in and you can see tons of people there, right? Enjoying the views and the breeze. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I hope you can. And that's exactly where the famous Ruslan ship docked in 1919. The ship coming from Odessa, which is now it's a port city in Ukraine. Up until 1917, it was the territory of the Russian Empire. Yes, of course, Ashkelon was bombed heavily when I lived there, and I was there during October 7th. Yeah, of course, we had gazillions of missiles hovering over our heads. Yeah, so that's the reason I left, because I just saw the fear in my son's eyes, and I couldn't stay there. But I'd rather not talk about it if you don't. So we are kind of circling it back to the beautiful Jaffa, but we're not done yet. Buffering. Okay, let me rejoin. Okay, has it worked? Please let me know if it has. I'll just wait for a sign from you. Oh, good. Yeah, fantastic. So someone asked me, yeah, that was Ashkelon, exactly the one that was bombed, and you could see it on the news from all over the world. Yeah, that's exactly the story. The beautiful Mahmudiya Mosque minaret over there. You can see. And so we're going to see the beautiful elite watchtower as well. The famous clock, I mean, not the clock tower, the clock tower, not the watchtower, the clock tower of Jaffa. And then we're going to walk a little bit along the seashore and talk about the history of these places. So we are now passing by the Jerusalem gate, this one, they showed you. Now it's already lit, but we've already been there. A windmill? No, it's not a windmill. That's okay. That's not. So, speaking of the Ruslan ship, it came in 1919, right? Well, they haven't even lit up the clock tower yet. Well, okay, but at least the area is lit up and it looks quite festive to me, and festive enough. So we're going to see what we have, and I can tell you the stories that I have not shared yet, which is fine. And we can see the clock tower from this angle as well. So that ship in 1919, the Ruslan ship, it came with the immigrants. It came with the refugees from the Russian Empire, Jewish immigrants mostly, because after the revolution, in general, it wasn't easy, and these people stayed in Odessa as well. People who, I would say, tours on the immigration, which I call Russian exodus. As you know, it's not just about Russians. It's about the different peoples who lived, and the group of nationalities that lived in the Russian Empire. And wow, it looks beautiful. We saw it about 2 hours ago, I guess. It looked different in the sunlight. So now it looks even nicer, I think. It is beautiful, Beverly, you're very right. And I wanted to come here in the second tour as well, already after the sunset. I'm not sure what time they're going to lit this up, but even like this, it looks beautiful. So I guess this is more than enough. And all those immigrants came, and they would be the future settlers of Tel Aviv and the future state of Israel. They contributed a lot to in the different walks of life, I would say, different spheres. And we spoke about it a lot on my previous tours, on the tours of Neve Tzedek, on the tours of... Sorry, give me a minute. And we will be talking more because hopefully next week I will take you to the Rothschild Boulevard to see some first houses as well as the white city of Tel Aviv. Now, so what else do we see here which I wasn't able to talk about in the first tour 2 hours ago? What you see here are the former Saraya. Do you remember in the first tour I mentioned Saraya, and Saraya is kind of a residence, a palace. So the residence of the governor, a sultan, and that's exactly where it used to be. That's what's left of it, in fact. Obviously, it's a restored monument. The thing is that in the 20th century, there was a big explosion. So it took place in the 1930s. This is exactly when, during the Mandate period, when a lot of clashes between Arab and Jewish communities took place. And so there was an attack, and this building was really badly damaged, and that's what's left of it. So the British basically took over the Ottoman property, because the Ottoman Empire ceased to be after the First World War was over, because the Ottomans allied with Germany, and Germany lost, and the Ottomans lost, and that was the end of the empire, and the only Turkey was left. So this is where the residence of a sultan used to be. And across the street over here, yeah, we are going to Abu Lafia, don't worry, dear. It's planned, it's part of the plan. Yeah, but I first wanted to come here and then take some bagel maybe or something from the bakery. For sure, absolutely. And then I also was planning to walk a little bit in the narrow alleyway, so that's what we're doing. Oh, I'm relying on a good signal though, because it's the old city, and the Ottomans really couldn't have foreseen the internet and also the heavy traffic here, a lot of cars. So, and across the street from the Saraya was the Kishle. Kishle is the word that the Ottomans used for prisons. And in fact, as you can see, so the Kishle is still here in a way. So the Kishle walls, the prison wall, is still here. However, now it is the Setal Hotel, a 5-star hotel. I don't know how many kidneys you need to pay just for the night, but it's well, $100 like that. Well, maybe it's a bit lower now, but they wouldn't really give you big discounts, even during the times of war. And I can see there are a lot of rooms actually occupied. So, yeah, but if you know the story, I don't know if well, of course it's a good idea. It's a good hotel, but an interesting thing is that if you take a look at the Saraya once again, over there you can see kind of a slit in the opening in the wall. This was the kind of the peeping place from where the warriors, the guards of the Sultan could be watching and keeping an eye on the prisoners in the Kishle, in the prison. And this prison remained the prison up until mid-20th century, believe it or not. Even after the establishment of the State of Israel, this remained prison up until 60 something. I'm not entirely sure which year it was. And the very last prisoner of this prison would be Adolf Eichmann, one of the sort of authors of the solution to the Jewish problem for the Nazis. Right. I will tell you what the bagel is, but first let's talk about Holocaust, okay? serious stuff here. I'm joking. Of course, I'm not joking, but I'm also joking, but I'm not joking. So you have to be careful here. So Adolf Eichmann, who escaped to the Latin America, was found by the agents of Israel, smuggled to Israel, and then there was a trial. And after that, he was convicted. So he was capital punishment for murdering of 6 million Jews during Holocaust. So that Adolf Eichmann was kept exactly in this prison, but before it turned into a 5-star hotel. So it's interesting that from here we can actually circle back the story, kind of, in a way, the beginning of the Ottoman times, right? We can see the start of the Ottoman Empire and the arrival of Europeans and Jews, right? And then further on led to the establishment of different European communities and also the state of Israel through Neve Tzedek, the Ahuzat Bayit, the first neighborhood that eventually would become Tel Aviv, and you know the story. So, and then we just made a big circle and we came back, and it kind of the history kind of also made the circle, and we are now in the mid-20th century. The interesting thing is that up until 1960s, actually up until this trial on Adolf Eichmann, okay, I'm going to cross here. Give me a second. It wasn't really, people didn't really talk about Holocaust. The Holocaust survivors who eventually came to Israel, they didn't really talk about it. People found it shameful. Many of those who saw the Holocaust survivors, they would be quite suspicious. Like, how did you escape then? Did you collaborate with the Nazis? Did you have to, I don't know, did you have to report on some other Jews in order to survive? All these things. So the survivors basically didn't want to talk about it. So nobody really spoke openly about the Holocaust, like for about 15 years after that. And the trial, the Adolf Eichmann trial, was an eye-opener. Apparently not for too long. But I don't want to politicize here, so let's go Eagles. So Abulafia is a family, so it's a last name, Abulafia family. It's a very old dynasty in Israel and Ottoman times. Yes, Robert. And we especially love them because they've had this bakery in Old Jaffa. We like them for many things, also for the tolerance, for the support of the Jewish people. But we also like them because they are open on Shabbat, because they don't have to be closed because they are Muslims. So Muslims don't keep Shabbat. They don't need to do that. And hi. And they are open on Shabbat, but out of respect to the Jewish people, they are closed on Yom Kippur. That's the only day of the year closed. So if you're looking for the bagels, so the bagelas are here. This is the, I would say, classic bagel from Abulafia. In Jerusalem also you could have seen a very long one, extended one. So they are a bagel Yerushalayimi. Also they have, okay, let's start from the savory stuff, and then we see the sweet stuff too. Let's see. You must have been tired and hungry after all this. So again, the bagels. Dorley, so how many do you want? Do you want all of them? What we have here is some of the most signature, pastry. Like this one, savory. This is the. Explain it. It's just the local mix of spices, herbs. So whenever you smell za'atar, it's the smell of the Middle East, basically. So it's used all over the Middle East. Also, they have also pretzels. because of course, how can you not? Yeah, the ones with za'atar are amazing. That's probably the one I'm getting because I don't want anything sweet because it's still too hot for me. But I cannot but show you. Oh my goodness, no! This is knafe. Well, knafe is my weakness. It's my really, really big weakness because this is the amazing dessert with the special cream cheese that is made. It's sweet. It's very sweet. It's made specifically for knafe. Oh my goodness gracious, I don't know. So it's a hot thing, and you should eat it while it's hot. Then this is the halva. I see nuts there. What do you call these nuts? I'm trying to remember, and my brain is so boiled now. What do you call cashew? Right? It's cashews. So it's cashews. Then you see baklavas, a traditional, I would say, Middle Eastern and especially Turkish dessert. So these are baklavas. Oh goodness, I'm drooling. Don't hate me, please, okay? Just don't hate me. This one is super traditional. This has pistachios in it. Yes, but now it's not a season for sakhleb. I only see sakhleb here during winter time. And that's where I had my sakhleb as well. I think I even say it in kind of a more Arab manner, sakhleb. Maybe I'm just being too overly modest about my Arabic, which I don't speak, but I used to speak some Turkish and some words. And well, my knowledge of Turkish sometimes helps me, to navigate some names in Arabic. But it's obviously not enough. So look at all this goodness. Look at all this goodness. Oh, I don't know. So maybe, just maybe, I take one of these with pistachios because I'm absolutely crazy about the pistachios, and I'll take the one with za'atar. Just maybe. What do you think? Should I? Should I or not? We'll see. Hi. Can I take one of these with pistachios?
Only one, or you want to make mix?
No, I just want one. I'm on a diet. And I also want pita with za'atar, please. Yes.
And sambusak pizza?
Yes, sambusak pita, yeah. No, just with za'atar. Okay.
Want sambusak pizza?
No, just with za'atar. Is it sambusak? Yes, just za'atar. Yeah. Not sambusak. Sambusak is going to be too heavy for me. So I need to find my card. Give me a minute. In the meantime, you can enjoy the bagels. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, by card.
15.
Okay. It's 15 shekels. There you go. I'm doing it again, I know. Though, I'm not taking the knafe, which is good. Thank you. Okay. So now we're... Oh, thank you so much. I've just been given some treats. I guess because I'm filming, I don't know. They're usually very friendly. They usually like tourists, locals. I mean, everyone. This is and look at the interior. So this is the proper Ottoman thing, right? Proper, like absolutely. And these are also the sambusak, all these pastries with za'atar, with cheese, with eggs and whatnot. Oh, let's see what they gave me. Let's see, what is this? Okay, just some energy bar. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so now let's... It's very dark in that area, but we can explore a little bit over there. You see, for some reason, the watchtower is... The clock tower, sorry. Not the watching tower, but the clock tower is still closed. That's, by the way, the meat place, the also Abulakia. That one is bakery, and this one is, ooh, you have to see this. That's the season for the rimonim, so the pomegranate season, pomegranate juice. You have to be very careful, but Cindy, I'm sure it would be a good idea for you to take it because it helps your just to up your hemoglobin level. But you have to drink it carefully. So, but yes, this is the season. That's the best time. Ooh, for pomegranate juice. And there's always a season for some baklava. It's always a season for some za'atar, pita, and whatnot. Well, let's just explore a bit more of this area. The restaurants here. A lot of businesses are now opening up because we're approaching the end of Shabbat, which is businesses, if it's feasible, they can reopen. I mean, it's not totally forbidden for the businesses to be, say, an apartment in Jaffa a few years ago. Oh, Beverly, indeed. You should have asked about this bakery. It's amazing. And again, it's open all year round, basically, except for Yom Kippur, which is solidarity with the Jewish people on a very important judgment day. Look at all these walls. Look at all these streets. So that's the vibe. That's the vibe of Old Jaffa. But we are going that way to, oh, I think it's just absolutely perfect bench for the treats. Yeah, maybe. Why not, actually? I mean, it's a little bit dirty, but I can manage. So let's start with my za'atar pita. Oh, it's hot. Look. It's so good. It smells so good. Yes, I am live. I am live right now, and we are about 8 minutes away from wrapping it up. So that's my pita. It's so good. It's much like we did. I remember that. I mean, I look ridiculous. Wait, I have the napkin somewhere. Wait a second. I have the napkins for sure somewhere there. But I need to find them. In the meantime, don't look at me. No. I actually need a mirror. There you go. I'm live. Nothing of this has been rehearsed. So let's look at this. So za'atar, I'm not even sure how to explain that. It's a mix of herbs, and also this pita should have a lot of sesame seeds. And olive oil. And you can put some labneh. You are my mirrors right now. And you can put some labneh, you know. This is soft cheese, labneh. This is so good. And then you can put some veggies. You can put some cucumbers, tomatoes, and it's just gonna be amazing. I think I found a perfect spot to try the dessert, to try the pistachio baklava. While you're torturing the masses, because I can. Because I can enjoy myself. I think I have deserved a little bit of a treat. And I have some cheers here, not taken, so I'm going to use that too. Maybe the waiters that work in this cafe use these cheers when they're taking a break. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna be quick. It's getting dark, you see. The connectivity is, I mean, it's okay. So yeah, there you go. This is just my pita with za'atar. One more bite. Just one more bite, okay? No. Amazing. And now the dessert. This should be heavenly. This has pistachios. I should have taken 3. Should have taken all of them. That's what I say all the time. That's why I normally don't buy these things. I normally don't, so I only bought it for the tour. And you just need to try them themselves. You just try them yourself, honestly. It's very sweet though. You know, the Middle Eastern desserts, in general, I would say Turkish desserts, just in generally Arab cuisine desserts, are full of flavor. And if it's sweet, yeah, it's like overly sweet, but it's so good. They have a secret. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they use tons of pistachios. I don't really know. We have a few more minutes, so let me switch the camera so I don't see my face. And you don't see my face. Let's enjoy a little bit of this vibe of the Jaffa streets. We have also a lot of street art here. The bagels in my fridge are saying, eat me now. They should be in your hands already by now. They should be already here, like jumping in your mouth. Now I so really badly need the water. I think I've already had about 3 liters of water. It's been a very hot day. So look at this. These actually used to be the shops. Well, most probably they're closed due to the war. There used to be a lot more restaurants open. Here used to be another watchtower, by the way, as you can see by the color of the pavement. So you already know that whenever you are in Israel, you need to be looking at 60 degrees, not just around you, but up and down, above you, below you. And by the way, free restrooms, very clean and open, but I think they are not open 24/7. I'm not sure. And here, well, I don't know who invented this apartheid thing, but I'll just tell you that here in the streets of Jaffa, you can hear just in 1 second Hebrew, Arabic, English, Russian, French, and any language, basically any language you can think of, you can hear it. So this is a very artsy place, very contemporary, very modern, very cosmopolitan, and with multiple layers of history. So some galleries are reopening. Most of the galleries are closed because there are not so many people, and also because it was Shabbat. But they start reopening, which is lovely. And as you can see here, cars cannot come. These are very narrow streets, and they are for walking, for cafes, and that's where I would like to wrap this up. Oh, you can find a lot of Chinese here. Not sure about Japanese, but yeah, I mean, there must be as well. Well, this is a tradition throughout the world, this beautiful umbrella streets. And I think this is where we will be wrapping it up because I need to find the time. I need to make sure I get home on time before my two other tours scheduled for tonight. So this tour has been a little bit less of a content and history, more of taking in the vibe, taking in the sunset. And I promise you another sunset tour next weekend. And I will schedule it a little bit earlier because we're approaching the winter time, which sounds really weird after 30 plus Celsius degrees tonight that I had to survive. So, two more tours tonight. I'm taking you to Peterhof Park to see the fountains. Then I'm talking about the Russian, Jewish, and Georgian immigrants in Harbin, China. And then tomorrow, four more tours tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm taking you to the Botanical Garden of Peter the Great, the oldest botanical garden in the Russian Empire, right? So it's in St. Petersburg. Then Misha is going to talk about the sexual revolution during the Perestroika time, as it was, portrayed and sung about by the musicians of the 1990s. It's gonna be 18 plus. Just 18 plus, just saying. But most of my audience is indeed 18 plus, maybe even 80 plus. I'm joking, of course, but so we're good here. Then I'm taking you to the Art Nouveau avenues of St. Petersburg. We've never really walked those avenues, not even on my live walking tours. You see, there's always something that we haven't seen in St. Petersburg, right? And then I'm taking you to Jerusalem, to the Christian Quarter. We are going to explore some of the churches and the narrow alleyways. And soon I will be doing the tour of the Holy Sepulchre Church again. And then in the upcoming 2 weeks, I will be doing live streams from Jerusalem, but not on weekends, during the day, during the week. I will keep you posted. It should have been recorded, Dorley, yes. It should, I'm sure it should, I'm sure it was recorded. I just haven't had time to check it, but usually it is available automatically. So, thank you so much everyone for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this tour as much as I did, especially in the UK. Maybe you're not so happy about me having these foodies, having the food, but I'm happy. So, if you enjoy this tour, please support me. You can thank me by just clicking the links in the top of your chat. You can either buy me coffees, you can send me a PayPal donation, and on my website, annayagar.com, you can find the links to book other tours. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Now I'm running to catch the bus to go home, take a shower, because I'm sweating. Sorry, I'm glowing. Because I'm glowing, and I don't stink. No, girls never stink, never sweat. I remember. And then 2 more tours. This is, I know. I'm sorry for having tortured you. Okay, Dolly, it's another way to interpret the buy me a coffee. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I will see you soon. Glisten, okay. And yeah, Cindy, just for you. Actually, for everyone. Yeah, the amazing. This is the only one country in the Middle East that supports and encourages the LGBTQ communities. Amazing. Israel is a big phenomenon. People just need to learn history and not listen to the propaganda. Bye-bye, everyone. Me too, absolutely, Napoli. Bye-bye, dears. See you soon.